Hope all is well with everybody. Hi, welcome in. We're gonna get started for today. We're gonna be talking about more or diving deeper into women's balance and their energy balance and their hormone balance and addressing the blueprint that women have been searching for but they haven't been successful in finding because we wake up and we already feel tired. We have days where we're fatigued, months, years on end, mood swings without warning, and we're trying to figure out why, feeling like our body is unpredictable and feeling like our cycle is a punishment and out of rhythm, and you can't shake the feelings that you're having, and you're trying different things of diet culture, you're trying different supplements, you're trying prescriptions. Women try surgeries to hopefully help what they have going on, to get rid of the signals that their body is sending them. But I want you to understand that for the women that are out there that are suffering, that are thinking that they're lazy, that they're broken, or that they're doomed to live this life and this is just a part of being a woman, that these are signals from your body to let you know that you are not broken, but there is a block and there's something going on. And it's waving a red flag to let you know that it needs your support. And it needs you to support it in a different space, in a different light than you currently are. Because plenty of people think that diet culture is the way for them to be healthy, so they follow keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, because these are regimens that are put in front of you to make you believe this is the only way for you to get back on track and for you to be healthy. But when you have hidden energy leaks inside the body, when it comes to you being balanced with your hormones, when it comes to you supporting your systems of your internal balance of your organs, when it comes to you knowing how to sync with your cycle and you not understanding how important it is for you to do those things, you are going to be stuck in survival mode. Many women are stuck in survival mode and they don't realize that they're stuck in survival mode because that is how they've been trained into believing their body is supposed to feel. You being in this same space that you've been in since you were 10, 12, 13, since you started being in the space of puberty and growing and becoming a woman, you think that this is a part of how your life is supposed to be because this is how all women feel. Just because these things are common, these signs are common, these energy leaks are common, it does not mean what you're going through is normal and is the norm, and it's something that you can't reverse and release. Because when you believe that it's something that you can't reverse, you can't release, that all of the emotional fatigue, the physical fatigue, and you feeling like your body is weighing you down every day and it's slowly shutting itself down every single day, you believing that this is the norm is the problem why millions of women are dealing with the same issues. Millions of women are dealing with hormonal imbalances. Millions of women are dealing with the issue of being moody, anxious, having days where they're exhausted even though they sleep enough hours. Sitting here having the cravings that are taking you to the point where you have to have it or you're going to be hangry. You have to have it or you're going to have an attitude. Pushing through your day with sugary snacks, coffee, and just hoping to make it by is not your norm, and it's not your story and your mission. But we have made it our norm because it's common. Brain fog is not normal, but many women and many men, many people on this earth deal with it, and you feel like it's impossible for you to focus and be productive and get rid of it. But a lot of you are not understanding that these signs are not random, but it's a fact that you're lacking nutrients that's causing your body to feel like it's turning against you. Because just because you eat does not mean you're getting enough nutrients. Because that's the reason why women are following the same regimen of the plates and the pyramids that they promote and they tell you to have, and they tell you to consume this way. But yet there are millions of women dealing with anemia, they're iron deficient, and they're magnesium deficient. Women are following their same regimen of what they're telling you how to be healthy, follow this diet, and etc. And yet we're having hormonal imbalances and we have a cycle that feels like a punishment. And it's so then when you look at how many women, millions of women are dealing with this, how your signs from your body are showing you that you're overloaded and you have an energy block. When are you going to understand that these are not separated and isolated issues? Science shows that about 40% of women in the US right now currently are dealing with insulin resistance. 40% of the women in the US alone. And most of them don't even realize that they're insulin resistant. And the reason why I say this statistic is because women are not syncing with their cycle. So you don't understand that there is a time of the month that you go into insulin resistance every single month. You are more resistant to sugar. And this is the time that you should be eating more foods, more healthy greens, more vegetables. But people think since they're having cravings that this is the time for you to support your body with the cravings, because as long as I eat a little bit, it'll get me through and I'll stop craving it. Thank you for the follows. I really appreciate it. And it doesn't just appear one day, a disease, a symptom, an illness. It builds up over time because of all the blocks that are stuck inside the body. Your gut is blocked. It's not releasing. Your digestive tract is blocked. It's not releasing. You're holding on to toxins inside of your liver. Your kidneys are not filtering correctly. Your pancreas is being spiked with all these blood sugar spikes, and then it's crashing. And you are on a chronic stress, and this chronic stress is causing you to be in fight or flight mode, which is going to affect your adrenal glands. And your adrenal glands is the pump for your hormones to secrete more, less, or to stay balanced. So when you are affecting your body with all of these different blocks, all because you don't know how to cycle sync, and all because you don't understand how to balance your body, you are going to be suffering. This is the reason why I have focused so much on people understanding what insulin resistance is and how to break down insulin resistance and how to reverse it. Because these millions of women are dealing with this same issue, all because they're not syncing with their cycle, because they don't understand their cycle phases, because we weren't taught these things. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. And these signs from your body are not your body hating you and giving you all of this negativity because it wants to turn against you. But it's because your body wants to protect you. And it's showing you that it's slowly breaking itself down through the signals that it's showing you. That each system is overworking and breaking down. And these leaks, these blocks, are going to turn into energetic leaks and have floodgates going through. So this is you having the PMS, because PMS is common, but it's not normal to be PMSing every single month. Thank you for the follow. When you are having the blocks, your energy is leaking because you're overwhelmed and you're overexerting. So this is going to cause the fatigue, the panic, the anxiety, the depression. And a lot of people don't realize how thrown off their gut is. So you're dealing with the issue inside the gut, and gut-related issues are directly connected to your brain's function. So that anxiety that you're feeling, those panic attacks, that depression, is not because it runs in your family and all of your women are having mental health issues, but it's because all the women in your family are lacking nutrients in their food, and the body has gone into panic mode. And so instead of it being able to build itself up and to feel good every day, all it can do is panic and be in survival mode, which is causing you to be in fight or flight mode, which is causing the anxiety and the depression and the panic attacks. So you have to actually break down and make a roadmap into your clarity so that you can start a strategy that works. Have a baseline so that you have a foundation to work off of that actually works. But when you're thinking that your body is turning against you and this is just how women operate and how they function, you're never going to find a solution because you're never looking in the right places. Because that's what diet culture has taught you, that you're going to have these fluctuations and you're going to be going up and down and it's never going to be stable, so you might as well just do what you can. But when you're using food as your medicine and you're eating properly, when you're actually supporting the body and getting the nutrients that it needs and absorbing the nutrients that it needs and using that energy, you see how the body is supposed to give back to you and how the body is supposed to function and operate every single month. As a woman, when you are dealing with the issue of your filter not working inside of your liver, you are going to develop estrogen dominance. And this estrogen dominance is because you are overloaded. Your hormones are overloaded inside of your liver. You have too many toxins, so your liver can't filter the toxins on top of the excess hormones. And so instead of it trying to get rid of that estrogen, it's trying to keep your blood clean. So it has to hold on to something. Birth control, alcohol, synthetic foods, emotional stress, all overload your liver. And when the liver is backed up, estrogen dominance rises and it leads you to having heavy menstrual cycles, fibroids, mood swings. And it's more than just you thinking, okay, so I just need to detoxify my liver, right? Because it's going to throw off every single function. Because I can guarantee, for example, how I've been talking about iron deficiency and anemia, and how it's been linked to autoimmune diseases, and it should basically be categorized as an autoimmune disease because this is not how doctors look at it. But when you look at iron deficiencies, specifically, a majority of the deficiencies that people have, but specifically iron, because this is a funny fact to think about, it's usually linked to some type of autoimmune disease, and it's usually related to the gut. And so when you're looking inside of these issues when it comes to iron absorption or the lack of iron in your nutrients in your food and how it's not being supported, the gut usually is leaking. And then when the gut is leaking, this is going to cause your liver to have to work overtime to try to fix the leaks that is happening, as well as your kidneys, because toxins are leaking inside of your bloodstream. They're leaking outside of your digestive tract. And so it's sending signals, hey, you need to filter this out. Hey, you have to fix this. The gut is leaking, so that means the digestive tract is going to be off as well, and everything else is thrown off as well. This spike inside of your body that is causing panic is going to cause your pancreas to work overtime, because now you're in a panic mode and the liver is not detoxifying, so you're going to have estrogen dominance and y'all don't sync with your cycles. So now the pancreas is going to be overloaded because you're going to be having these spikes, insulin spike, insulin crash. You're going to be having the irregularity inside of your mood, which is going to cause you to have all these energy crashes because your energy is leaking. Like I said, when you have these blocks inside the body that's causing distress, your energy is going to be leaking. It's deeper than just, oh, you didn't get enough sleep and you need coffee, or you're stressed out from work and your family. The energy leaks also come from the fact that your organs are energetically off because they're all in panic mode trying to work and compensate and to fix each other's problems. Because your internal organ, your internal systems, they work together for a reason. It's not just say, oh, I have a gut related issue, so I need to take a gut supplement. Or, oh, I'm having anxiety, so I just need to sit here and take an antidepressant and sit here and lower my anxiety. Because it all connects. So when you are having those energetic leaks, your body is going to be in a stressed out state more than just, oh, it's my family, it's my job. But you're going to be in survival mode, and this is how you get burnout. This is how you get chronic fatigue. And that burnout and that chronic fatigue throws off your adrenal glands, which is your hormonal support in your secretion area. So you are going to have a complete body that is dysfunctional, leaving you wired in the space of being tired, unable to rest, craving all these different foods, craving all this stimulation for your dopamine and your serotonin so that you can feel good. And that's going to cause you to make the wrong decisions towards food, towards products, towards men, towards women, because this happens to everybody. We think that society is just going through hard times right now because this is just a part of what the generations are going through, and we blame X, Y, and Z. But a lot of us are not looking at the internal distress that we have going on, and a lot of y'all are not realizing how when you throw your body off with all your organs and your chemicals with your hormones, it throws off your chemical balance to what you're attracted to, what you attract. Because that's what happens when you're on birth control, for an example. When you're on birth control, it literally alters your chemistry. And this is a tidbit that I usually say when I'm in my program. So you're getting a freebie right now for the people that are in here. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. When you are on birth control, it throws off your chemical balance to the point where it throws off who you attract. It literally messes up your chemical rhythm that it makes you attract different. It makes you attracted to different people. Because it throws off your hormonal system and your cycle so much that it throws off your chemistry of who you're attracted to and who you attract. So that's the reason why a lot of people, when they get off their birth control, their partner and them are no longer on the same page. They're no longer attracted to what they used to be attracted to. They're no longer wanting to do the things that they used to do with their partner. Or they no longer want to be in the same hobbies and patterns that they were attracted to in the beginning and how they got together. But people don't put that two and two together because we're not taught that. Because it throws off your chemical rhythm. And I'm not saying this off of just the science, but actual observation of what happened to me when I was on birth control. Thank goodness there was no men in my life at that time, because at the time I was in college and I was focused on me getting myself together so that I could elevate myself. But I could tell how it had thrown off my chemistry and my hormones, where I was starting to get attracted to different people I was never attracted to. Being in spaces where I never was really wanting to be in outside of the birth control. Because it literally alters your chemistry to alter your brain, and you have no discerning thoughts. The discernment is still there to an extent, but when the foundation has cracks in it, there's going to be leaks that are not healthy. So you have to think about what kind of foundation you're sitting on taking birth control and depending on birth control for hormonal balances or for you to not have children. Because there is natural birth control. There's natural birth control for you to not be able to have children. There is natural ways for you to balance your hormones so you don't have to take birth control. Whether you're on an IUD, the pill, whatever else, there is no reason for you to be on birth control. But when you are on birth control, know what it's doing to your body and how harmful it is. Or if you're thinking about taking it, know how harmful it is to the body. If your doctor tells you you have a fibroid or a cyst and they don't want you to have surgery yet, but they want to see if this birth control is supposed to help you, I'm going to let you know now. All they're doing is just altering your chemical chemistry of your hormones so that you stop having the symptoms of the fibroid or the cyst. It does not help it go away. It just changes and alters your chemistry of your hormones so that it can cause you to stop having those symptoms. So you stop feeling the fibroid or the cyst or whatever issue that you had coming in. So then in 10 years, when it's worse, or you have 8 fibroids versus 1, or you have all these cysts on your ovaries and you're trying to figure out how it got so bad because the birth control helped you 10 years ago. It didn't get rid of the problem. It just altered you enough so you could feel good today, tomorrow, in 10 years. And then when it finally catches up with you, now you're thinking all of a sudden you just developed fibroids again and you're trying to figure out why. And maybe you need to go back on the birth control. But you have thrown your body off completely. And that's the reason why you feel like your body is betraying you. But it's not betrayal. It's communication. The symptoms that you're having is communication. You just have to know how to listen and hear it and read it and use that communication. When you're not getting to the root cause of the problem, you're never going to be able to reverse it and to fix it. So you taking that birth control was not you getting to the root cause. You sitting there taking the birth control and then having a surgery and then it growing back, because fibroids usually grow back after you have a surgery, was never you fixing the problem, but you trying to manage it with a momentary band-aid. And it's not sustainable. So when you do not sustain your health in a light that not only allows you to reverse them and to keep that reversal process in the space of healed, healing, and not going back to your old habits like diet culture teaches you, when you are in the space of continuously using momentary band-aids, you are going to develop more chronic illnesses and diseases throughout your life. This is the reason why people think when you get older, all of a sudden you have all these diseases that happen because you're old. But no, it's because you've been having signs from the body for years. In those years of you having those signs, you kept putting a band-aid on it. Oh, let me just take this ibuprofen. Let me take this Advil. Let me take this birth control. And you've been hushing and silencing your symptoms. And then in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, when you develop a chronic illness or a disease, you're thinking that this is just a part of life because you're older. But you've been having signs that you were insulin resistant since you were 11 years old and nobody pinpointed it. You've been having signs of hormonal imbalances since you literally started menstruating. Before you started menstruating, and nobody pinpointed it. This is because doctors are not taught how to help you reverse and to heal. They are taught how to help you manage with the momentary band-aids so that when you come back, You have something else to complain about. That's not their programming, and that's not what they're taught. And I don't blame them for their programming. And I don't blame you as a consumer, as a person who is here on this earth, for not knowing any better. But it is our responsibility as an adult who sees the signs and sees the problems and is looking for answers to actually have sustainable solutions, not the momentary band-aids of diet culture. Actually shifting into reversing, making a foundation that is healthy, because imbalances are not, imbalances are not permanent. Your body is able and is designed to fix itself, but it has to have the right support. It has to have the right system. It has to have the right fuel. You can't sit here and drive a Hyundai and then put in the same fuel that a semi-truck uses. There's no reason for you to do that. There's no reason for you to sit there and put the same fuel that you put in that Hyundai in the semi-truck. It's not going to work, and it's going to break it. You can't decide today that instead of you putting gas in your car that you want to put water in it and then expect it to function. You can't decide that you're going to just change up and be like, you know what, I'm not going to put gas in my car anymore. I'm going to put fruit juice in it. So think about the car, how one day you take care of it, you do it correctly. You take care of your body, you do it correctly. You can't just switch up and decide today, I'm not going to do what it's supposed to do. The instruction manual says this, but I'm going to do this. Your body's giving you the instruction manual with all the symptoms that you're having. And you're seeing that. And you know what you're deciding to do today? I'm going to do a diet today. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do a fruit fast and a cleanse today. And then tomorrow, next week, I'm going to go back to eating chicken. I'm going to go back to eating beef. I'm going to go back to eating dairy and all the other meats and processed snacks. Because as long as I do diets every couple of months, I should be fine. That's not how the body operates and works. Because if it were, people would be healthy. The people in the U.S. would be healthy. You wouldn't be sitting here dealing with all these symptoms and all these problems. When you understand that you have to eat plant-based foods, regardless of what lifestyle you live and what you believe that they have taught you, you've been programmed into, the earth produces vegetation for a reason. So if you're not eating of the earth, you're eating a bunch of energetically dead foods. So when you think about those energetically dead foods and how you're consuming them on a regular, what do you think that's doing to your body energetically and physically? Because the earth produces live vegetation. Because we know that plants are alive. Because people try to have that funny saying of when people talk about how, which I'm not one of those people who are like, save the animals, save the animals. That's the reason why I went plant-based. But for the ones who are, and then the people who eat meat and dairy want to go back and they're trying to make a funny joke about, well, plants are alive. Do you not think that that hurts the plants? Plants are energetically alive. Animals are physically alive and energetically alive. But you have to think about that. And then you go and you mistreat the animal. They get slaughtered. They get put in terrible conditions and etc. Which puts trauma on their body. Makes them energetically negative. And then they get slaughtered because animals are very in tune. And they know when they're about to unalive. They know when they're going to the slaughtering. Because that's the reason why animals start to panic. Then that panic turns into anxiety. That anxiety turns into trauma. And they hold on to that. And that's the state that they unalive in. Now, not only is it an energetically negative food, but it's also a dead food. Think about that when you're eating your meat and your dairy, regardless if it's grass-fed, free-ranged. Think about that. Because these animals don't just unalive from natural causes and then they use the meat. They go to a slaughtering. And animals are in tune. They know when their day is coming and they know what the building looks like. Because that's the reason why animals can sense when the energy is changing in the air and they know a storm is coming. It's the reason why animals know if you have a pet at home, they know when they're in trouble when they do something. And you don't even have to say anything because they go and hide or they stare at you waiting for you to find it. Animals are in tune. And like I said, I'm not one of the people who are out here like, oh, I'm going plant-based to save all the animals. But I have always been a lover of animals. And I see and I understand what we're supposed to be doing and what we're not supposed to be doing from the discernment that the Most High has given me. I asked in 2020, before I even went plant-based, For him to support me and help me with the fact that I was having all these imbalances, how I developed asthma in high school, I've had knee pain all of my life trying to figure out what was going on, and then all the other things with my weight. And I was like, this makes no sense how I go to the doctor and my doctor told me out of her mouth I was never going to be able to hit a certain weight because of the way my body was built. And I looked and I took that and I held on to it because it's my doctor. I'm like, you know best. You know the body. Mind you, we haven't ran any tests. We haven't done anything to prove this. But she just looks at me because I'm a black woman and says, that's just how you're built. You're not going to be able to go down to based on what your height, what your weight is supposed to be. I was at the time, I think I was around 195-ish. I was never able to get under 190. The highest I had ever gotten was around 220s. That was my weight fluctuation all my life. When I first went plant-based, I didn't immediately drop all the weight. And then on top of that, I didn't understand how eating a rainbow plate impacted the body and cycle syncing. So as I was learning that and I saw how my body was shifting, I started to tune in as I started to work out. I started to see. I started cleansing on the regular. My body naturally lost the weight without me having to calorie count and restrict and starve myself. Because I've been plant-based for almost 5 years, and there's not a day that I go by where I'm like, oh, I'm hungry and I have to starve myself because I have to hit a calorie goal and a deficit. I went down, I want to say within 2 weeks to a month. I don't know exactly how long it was, but for me focusing on me cycle syncing and eating according to my cycle phases, so then I had my cleanses during my cycle phases that were supporting me the most. I went from, like I said, I couldn't go down. Now, when I first went plant-based, I went around 180s and was like, okay, I'm around 186. I've lost about 10 pounds. That's great. I haven't really done anything. When I was intentional with cycle syncing and knowing when the phase where I should be eating more fruits, raw fruits and vegetables, I went all the way down between 160. I think the highest that I have been since I've been plant-based was back up to like 172. 160 is my norm. In the 160 range is my norm. I was never able to hit that. My body had not seen 160s since I think 8th grade. Because like I said, I couldn't get under 190. I was in 5th grade, 150 pounds. And I was a skinny kid. When my time of me starting to actually go through puberty hit, I started having all the weight fluctuation and all the signs of a hormonal imbalance. But nobody was pinpointing that. And so then when I got older and I developed asthma in high school, when I was having knee pain in middle school, all these signs of overloaded inflammation, nobody could pinpoint it. Because as black women, we are viewed as somebody who's going to be hormonally imbalanced. We're going to be overweight. And that's just what happens. Because there is a difference between having extra, being thick, and being healthy, versus there's a difference between you being overweight and unhealthy and having all the signs of that. Because I'm somebody who's not skinny. I'm not skinny at all, nor do I desire to be skinny. That's not my goal. But my goal was to be healthy. And I knew that my weight was not healthy because I felt heavy. But as soon as I got down to about 180s, my knee pain went away. I got down to 170s, my knee pain went away. Where I'm at currently right now, I have been running. I haven't ran lately, but I was running between last year. I got up to working out 5 to 6 times a week. I was running for fun, and I've never been the person who likes running. No knee brace, no knee pain. I haven't had a knee brace since the beginning of me going plant-based. I haven't had an inhaler since before I went plant-based because I stopped taking it because I was looking for solutions for me to not have to depend on an inhaler in order for me to take care of myself. And after a couple of years of me realizing that it was because of the overloaded inflammation that I was having, I started to ask myself, now how come a doctor who has been through a whole program couldn't figure this out, but I figured it out within a couple of years of just me trying to take care of myself in a new space that is not diet culture. Starting to use food as my medicine. Actually getting movement that releases and allows the body to flow. Using a rhythm to detoxify. Using a system that detoxifies according to my cycle so that I don't feel like it's a punishment every time that it comes around. And I think that this is just something that I have to do as a woman. But learning a blueprint that supported me and has saved me from thinking that this is a part of being a woman and then hating my own cycle and my own journey in my own life. Because I was in the space of, if this is what it is, I don't want to keep living like this anymore. I don't want to keep starving myself and then sitting here wondering why I'm so hungry and blaming myself for being hungry. Because you shouldn't be blaming yourself for being hungry. The body gives you signals of hunger for a reason, because you're lacking nutrients. It's the same way that people sit here and they crave all this sugar and things after they eat, and they haven't pinpointed the fact that it's not because you've trained that you need a sweet treat behind your meals, but it's because your body is in an insulin resistant state. You have spiked your blood sugar, and so your body is trying to replenish with nourishment, but you have subconsciously trained your body to only realize in the time of distress to eat sugar. You have trained your body to eat sugar in the time of distress. Oh, I'm stressed out from work, sugar. Oh, I've gone through a breakup, sugar. Oh, I'm not feeling good today. I just need some energy, sugar. I don't really want that. I want a sweet drink, sugar. It's your hospitation. I'm telling this all the time. And that's not, and that's the crazy thing. It's like, it's not promoted by a lot of doctors. They don't teach you how to reverse things. They teach you how to manage. And so people are in the space of thinking, as long as I manage this issue, as long as I maintain and manage, that it's fine, because everybody has to go through it. And then when you bring up the fact that you realize you don't have to go through it, and break down X, Y, and Z, why trying harder is not the problem. It's finding a new foundation to stand on. Because right now, you're trying harder in this space and it's not working. A lot of people are trying hard, calorie counting and restricting, and then they sit there and they're complaining about how they're so hungry, they didn't like it, but they lost weight, so they're happy. And I'm like, how long do you sustain starving yourself? Because that's what you're doing. When you don't get enough nutrients in your food, and a lot of people don't eat enough nutrients. They eat, you fill, but you don't eat enough nutrients. So how long is starving yourself sustainable? Because it's not. It's never been. And so you have to take action to regulate the body, to release those blocks, and to align your energy so that you are no longer energetically leaking through your habits. But you have to start with the healthy habits on a healthy foundation, and create that on a foundation that is not shaky. You have to give the body nutrients. You can't just starve yourself into being healthy. That's not health. Especially when you're filled up with a bunch of toxins and junk. That's not health. So if you are looking for a support system that is going to help you be able to get into the shift of energetically being balanced and knowing where we're going when it comes to not only with healthcare, where it's going with insurance, where it's going with society, when it comes to using food as a filler and continuously making you sick, I have my Balanced Energy Blueprint that is happening on September 25th. I don't know, I was about to say the wrong month, but September 25th. It is happening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can get your ticket for $111, and if you would like a replay, as well as the 2 bonuses that I have that are coming with that class, it is $140. I usually do not do master classes that are under $197, but this is something that not only I want to do before the end of the year, because I want people to get in the mindset before this new year, new me crap culture comes out, but I also have been compelled to start talking about the energetic leaks that are going on, because there are too many women that are having the issue of that they don't have a healthy foundation to stand on. So they're on the shaky foundation of diet culture. And we are in a space where healthcare, the insurance companies, and everything else has already shifted, and it's going to continuously shift against us. So when you sit here and think that you're going to have time to save yourself later, no, nothing is going to be able to save you and have your backing unless you have the funds to be spending all this money. Because they're going to start taxing you for a simple visit to the doctor. Nurses, doctors are losing their jobs. Hospitals are closing. Insurance companies are not covering what they used to cover. And they're dropping people like flies for the simplest things. So can you only imagine if this is the space that we are currently in, when they decide that your basic packages are no longer going to cover the basics of your health care, that you have to pay premiums, and these premiums are looking like thousands of dollars a month. Or to go visit your doctor for a basic checkup is thousands of dollars a month. They tell you need to go blood work, and now you have to pay $10,000 for some blood work because they have a shortage of doctors and nurses, and they need to be paid. And so does the hospital. and all the equipment that they have to use. But when you know how to help your body and support the body and to use food as your medicine, you won't have to be going back and forth to the doctor. You won't need a surgery. You won't be sitting here crying about the fact that you have no support system and the foundation that you're on is not working because you're believing in diet culture. So if you are looking for that and you need that root of getting to the root cause and you need that balance, look for that ticket that is in my bio. You go grab your ticket, secure your spot. I only have limited spots. What questions do you guys have for me before I get off? Happy start to your week. I start my week on Sundays. I do have a YouTube that I post all of my past lives on. So if you are watching on YouTube, do not forget to subscribe. And if you are here on TikTok currently right now and you do not have me on YouTube, it is linked in my bio. Go check it out. Plant-based is the only way for you to be able to heal the body from the inside out, because like I just explained earlier, that is the only alive food that you could possibly consume that allows your body to be alive and energetic positively on the inside, that flushes you out and supports you. There is no momentary band-aid of a supplement, a prescription, or a surgery that is going to give you the energetically alive healing that you need that comes from actual foods. So like I said, the link is in my bio. If anybody has any questions, your time to ask is now. If any of the links do not work, please feel free to DM me to let me know that they don't work. And if you don't have any questions, I'm going to hop off. But I do send out a Wellness Wednesday email every single Wednesday. So if you were not on my email list, please go on ahead and get on my email list. It is linked in my bio as well. Any questions for me at all? And I think my dog needs to go out, so I probably have to take her out. So I'm not seeing any questions, so I hope that this has supported you. If you have missed this live and you want to catch the full live, it will be posted on my YouTube next week. Go get your ticket for that masterclass. There's spots are limited. Like I said, it is at 111 for you just to get into the class and secure your spot, and 147 for you to get the replay and also the bonuses that come with that. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go take her outside, and peace, y'all. I'm out.